Hello students. So our next concept is about epidermis. Already about this epidermis we have started in our previous class. How to do this activity. How to make a temporary mount of rheoleaf peel we have discussed in our previous class. Right? When you prepare the specimen of this rheoleaf peel, then you can check the observation in such a way. In this way we can observe the observation. And these are the guard cells. This is the guard cell you can check, which is indicating with the blue color. And these one cell thickened cells are there, right? And these are epidermal cells. And remember, one of the characteristic of epidermis, they are unevenly thickened walls. They have unevenly thickened walls. Okay, comparatively outer walls are thicker. Okay, and this is the top view of the epidermis. If you see, in case of rheoleaf peel, top view epidermal structure, if you see, these are the epidermal cells and they don't have any intercellular spaces. You can observe this one, there is no gap between one cell to another cell. Okay, in the middle they have this guard cells which protected this opening pores known as stomata, which are protecting the opening pores known as stomata. So what is the function of stomata? Transpiration and exchanging of gases. That is the function of stomata. Stomata function, if you see, transpiration and exchanging of gases. What is meant by transpiration? Loss of water in the form of water vapor from plant body whenever it is excess to the plant. Okay, which is helpful to keep the plant body cool. Other one, exchanging of gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen during photosynthesis and respiration. Exchanging of gases can take place through the stomata. Okay, so that is the structure of epidermis, which is located on the leaf. Okay, which is located on the leaf. And we will see detailedly about this epidermis. What do you observe? The outermost layer of cells, which is called epidermis. Epidermis is usually made up of single layer of cells. Already I told you, which is made of single layer of cells. There are no many layers. In some plants living, which are living in a dry habitats, epidermis may be thicker, since protection against water loss is critical, right or not? So epidermis consists of, especially the leaf, epidermis which is present on the leaf consists of stomatal pores. These are the stomatal pores, you can check. Electron microscopic view, these are the pores which are responsible to release the water, right? But in case of some plants which are in the desert habitat or dry habitat, this epidermis should be thicker. Okay, and that is necessary to give protection against the water loss. Definitely it is necessary. The entire surface of the plant has this outer covering of epidermis and it protects all the parts of the plant. Epidermal cells on the aerial parts of the plant often secrete a waxy, water resistant layer on their outer surface. So that is known as cuticle. Sometimes some type of plants you have seen, I think this is the example you check. Okay, to avoid the water loss, these plants are having a waxy layer on the surface of the epidermis, that is known as cuticle. You can check clearly this picture, Amma. These are the epidermal cells which are located on the plant leaves. This is the leaf cross section, you can check. This is the epidermal cells, and these are the palaceid cells, and in this some type of parenchyma tissues also located. Remember that some type of parenchyma tissues are located. And coming to, this is the guard cells. Okay, guard cells which are protecting the opening pore, that is known as stomata. Okay, and especially in the dry habitat plants, epidermis is covered with a waxy coating, that is known as cuticle. Because of this waxy coating, stomatal pores can be closed, as well as epidermis is getting some extra protection. Okay, you can check this way. This is the structure. Okay, and this is one example for the plants with waxy coating. Because of the waxy coating, they have water resistance, as well as they don't let the excess water to lose out from the plant body. They don't let excess water to lose out from the plant body. You know, this is example, such type of leaves. Maybe you all are familiar with this such type of leaves, right? Example, lotus comes under that. Next one, we can observe small pores here and there in epidermis of the leaf. These pores are called stomata. Stomata are enclosed by two kidney-shaped cells called as guard cells. They are necessary for exchanging of gases with the atmosphere, and for the transpiration also they are needed. Already we discussed that one. Which one is necessary? Definitely stomatal pores are necessary. Coming to epidermal cells of the roots, whose function is water absorption, commonly bear long hair-like parts that greatly increase the total absorptive surface area. So already I told you, epidermis is present throughout the plant body, especially in the root area. If you see, they have root hairs. Root hair is useful to increase the absorption capacity. In some desert plants, epidermis has thick waxy coating, cutin, even on the root surfaces also, and it is outer layer of branch of tree, different from outer layer of young stem. Definitely, outer layer of branch of tree, is it different from outer layer of young stem? Definitely. Once think about that. And this is about the stomata. Okay, this is about the stomata. And remember, epidermis which is present on the roots are having root hairs. This is the structure of root hair. You can see root structure. This is the epidermis which covers the root area, and they have the hair-like structures. Because of this hair-like structure, the absorption capacity can be increased, because these hair-like structures can be in contact with every particle of the soil and almost every particle of the water, because in the soil or in the gap between one particle to another particle of the soil, water is present. So to that area also these thin hair-like structures can enter, and absorption capacity can be increased. So that is the uniqueness of epidermis which is present on the root areas of the plants. Okay, and this is cross section of the leaf. Already about leaf we have discussed, and there is a waxy coating called cuticle is present or located on the leaves of desert area plants, or which plants needed water resistance. During the time on the epidermis they have the cuticle, and these are the epidermal tissues. Remember, down to that there is no one more epidermal tissue. Definitely there are the parenchyma tissues. These are the parenchyma tissues. Okay, green color is indicating parenchyma, and this is a single cell thickness epidermal tissues. Upper epidermis and lower epidermis are the two types of epidermis are present on the leaf, because leaf is having two surfaces, upper surface and lower surface. Upper surface is covered with upper epidermis, lower surface is covered with lower epidermis. Okay, next important one. What do you understand by seeing this? What is structure mean? This structure, have you know what it mean? Definitely, this is the bark of the trees, right? And this is the cork, right? Cork, somewhere we use in the Ayurvedic medicines or homeopathic medicines. If you see, as a covering lid or closing lid, we use this cork. And cork almost can be prepared from the bark of the trees. Okay, so what it mean? So this is nothing but the epidermis which is present on the stem area. So already we discussed, right? Epidermis is located throughout the plant body. So first of all we have finished epidermis which is located on the leaf. Second, we finished epidermis which is located on the root, how they are designed. Now coming to epidermis which is located on the stem, especially in the older stems, how the epidermis is designed we will see. Okay, as plants grow older, the outer protective tissue undergoes certain changes, especially in the older trees. A strip of secondary meristem replaces epidermis of the stem. Remember, it's very important point. So which one is replacing this? A strip, okay, a strip of secondary meristem replaces the epidermis of the stem. Here you can hear this meristematic tissues. Even meristematic tissues are coming to play a crucial role in formation of this simple permanent tissues. That is nothing but epidermis. Understood? A strip of secondary meristem which is responsible for continuous division, especially in case of older plants in stem area. These secondary meristematic tissues can be converted into epidermis in stems. Okay, can be converted into epidermis in case of stem. So this is nothing but, this entire one is nothing but, okay, this is nothing but secondary meristematic tissue converted into cork. So suppose you see this is the secondary meristematic area. This entire area is the secondary meristematic area. Okay. During the secondary meristematic growth, in case of stem area, when they keep on dividing, it forms as the cork tissues. It's nothing but epidermis which is located on the older trees. Okay, epidermis which is located in the older trees. So have you understood what is this epidermis located on the older stems or older trees? I hope you understood this one. Let me clarify the remaining. Okay, and this forms the several layers thick cork or bark of the tree. So continuously when the secondary meristematic tissue keep on adding, then a thicker layer can form on this older trees, and this additions can done from the inner side. Remember, from the lower side, because where are the secondary meristematic tissue? These are the secondary meristematic tissue. When they keep on dividing and add one layer, then this layer thickness can increase this way. Outer growth will be shown, right? But growth is because of the inner tissues. That is nothing but secondary meristematic tissues. Okay. Cells of cork are dead and compactly arranged. Definitely these cork tissues are very dead in nature and very tightly arranged without any intercellular spaces. They also have a chemical called suberin. So these epidermis cells which are located especially in the stem are having a chemical known as suberin. Remember, suberin in their walls that makes them impervious to gases and water. So what is the necessity to completely compactingly arrange these cells? When they arrange compactly, then they don't allow or they don't let any fungus or bacteria to enter through these cells. Okay, fungal entry or bacterial entry they don't allow. This epidermis don't allow into the plant body. At the same time, they are impervious to gases and water. Gases loss and water loss also can be prevented because of this epidermis. But remember, on the stem, somewhere ruptured areas are present on this cork area or bark area. They are known as lenticels. Only through the lenticels or the ruptured areas which are located on the bark, exchanging of gases can be taken place through stem. Okay, so that is about epidermis which is located on the stem. Okay, once have a look on this, how they are arranged. Okay, I hope you understood this concept. Still you have any doubts, then we can discuss in the